Hello, hello, visibility hackers, and welcome to tonight's episode of Friday Night Live. It's great to be back. I took a couple weeks of absolutely, completely, totally necessary time for myself because sometimes we get a little bit too into our businesses and yeah. I put a poll out or a little question out on my Facebook profile this week asking other entrepreneurs how often they check out of their businesses, whether it's on a regular basis, like they do it at a certain time every day or every week, or if they're like me and they go full force and then take a couple weeks off every year to disconnect. It was really a great conversation. It was great to hear how different everyone's thoughts are on the topic of disconnecting, which I thought it was really interesting. So thank you for those who shared your thoughts with me, and feel free to head over to my Facebook profile and add your thoughts to that post as well. Well, tonight I have a fun topic to cover with you guys. We had a fantastic question that was dropped in the Visibility Hacking Facebook group about internal objections and external objections and vehicle objections and what does this all mean. And this came out of a presentation I did with where I was promoting this idea of doing 30 days of content that are specifically designed to help you introduce your brand to your people, right? And so I came up with this idea of this 30-day plan, and 3 of those days of content refer to creating content that overcomes objections. Now, I do this in our business, and I do this with a lot of the other clients in the visibility hacking world. And it was really neat to see when we talked about the outcome of sales calls and how productive our time is overall. It was really neat to see that those who were implementing these types of content were actually seeing higher conversion rates. Their processes and the length of time that they spent on the calls with these prospects led to increased productivity, less time on the calls, higher conversion rates with those calls, and buyers who are already pre-qualified by the time that they get to the call with you. All of the objections had been met previously because of the content that they were watching as they were getting to know your brand. Boom, super cool, I thought, at least I thought. So I'm going to do a lot of talking today. So I'm also going to drink a lot of my water. So make sure that you're staying hydrated. And without further ado, let me switch some stuff around and we can get started on tonight's little presentation. I'm gonna teach you something. We're gonna get into old school Molly. I was having a fantastic conversation earlier today with one of my favorite people in the entire world, and we were talking about content and bringing your personality out. And the two of us, we geek out hard when it comes to the psychology of what's happening, like what's literally happening in our brains. How are we processing this information when we're creating that content? And she is brilliant when it comes to understanding body language and how you understand the psychology, how the psychology that's happening in our brain actually comes out in our personalities. And it was so cool to see, to have that conversation about bringing our personalities out. And I thought, well, hey, let's use this as a time to launch into what feels right. Let's talk about what feels right when we're presenting and we're creating this kind of content. But before we dive in to our lesson today, let's bring on one of our favorite people in the world, the one and only Mr. Jim Beard. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, y'all.
Hey,
How's every
y'all.
little thing?
It's good. It's good. How you doing?
Everything's great. Great. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, tonight we're
Welcome to
talking
the delicious dish.
tonight we're talking about using our content to overcome objections before our prospects even get to the sales call with us. So are you ready to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show?
Oh, I am.
Oh,
Oh, not you're talking to them. Yeah, they're ready.
or you too.
I'm
Me
ready
too.
to.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Where's my proper layout? Here we go. Here we go. All right. Well, let's gotta introduce you to someone else though, my friends. I want you to meet Mark. Mark is a very, very special person. See, Mark is the marketer. That is his entire identity. And sometimes when we're creating content, we just want to be Mark the marketer. And so Mark's a pretty cool guy. He's pretty cool. He knows his niche. He knows his product.
He
He
seems
knows how
negative.
great. He's a little either side. Either side. He's
Gotcha.
ha ha ha. He's a very interesting guy. He creates great content. People like to enjoy his stuff, but he also finds that he spends way too much of his time on sales calls. And on these sales calls, he's constantly trying to convince people that his stuff is the best. He's spending so much time trying to pitch, and he's getting rejected, and it feels yucky to him. And he wants to kind of give up on his business. But here's the problem. See, Mark the marketer is focusing too much on using his mouth. And here's the secret. It's right in front of you, my friends. Like the secret is staring at you right now. Mark's been focusing too much on his mouth. He has one mouth, but he has two ears. So what he should be doing is instead not focusing on what he's saying all the time, and instead start listening twice as much to what his customers are saying. Because once we understand what our customers are saying, we understand what their frustrations are, we understand what their obstacles are, we understand what is the friction point that's stopping them from purchasing our products or taking action with us or moving forward with whatever it is that they have reached out to you for. And it's because we're focusing on the wrong stuff. We need to understand who our customer is. So this is our first conversation tonight, Jim, is talking about how do we understand who our customer is? How do we get that information? What do you do? What do I do? What can our viewers and listeners do to understand our customers better? What are your thoughts?
From my perspective, what I like to do is I like to hit up the YouTubes.
Yep.
I like to hit up that comment section and see either this is amazing. Please keep making videos. I bought your t-shirt, whatever it may be. Or you forgot this, really? Or this sucks. You have a dumb face and I didn't hear anything you said. So depending on what they say, I either watch the video or I hang out in the comments.
And you're talking about not just your own content, but you're talking about the content of other people who are already rocking it in your niche.
OPC, other people's content.
We love OPC.
OPC. So that's where I start. I want to see what people are liking, what people are appreciating, and more than anything, I want to see what people are not getting. Because they'll tell you, hey, this covered this, but what about this? And if it goes unanswered, that's something I can fill. And if it fits what I'm passionate about, what I'm good at, and what I feel like I can serve to the market, then we might have a market fit.
Absolutely.
So that's where I like to start personally. And then I go into groups and I look for questions surrounding what my passion is and find out people that are needing help. I go to the market first and see what the issues are. And then I find ones that I can personally solve with my skill set.
Yeah.
So that is
what I like to do is look at existing groups that you already are part of. So you've already started those conversations, you're already in those masterminds maybe, and you have that relationship with people so you can ask them directly. And hey, why not also ask your own list directly? Because we know we should all be keeping our own email lists. We should all have our own contact lists and whatnot. So engage that group and literally ask them, what are you struggling with? What are you looking for? What are you struggling with that I could help you with? but we're looking specifically at talking about more things related to, or what I should say is we want to talk about false beliefs and objections. So, Jim, what do you define as a false belief?
Something that through our life experience and through our environment and how we're shaped as a person has made us believe something. Whether it's true or not, it's our perception, and our perception is reality. So until
Absolutely.
our perception is broken by another realization or reality, it's just the way it is. So that is our false belief. And then objections are, I don't think
we'll talk
that
about objections in a second. We'll get to objections in a second. So beliefs are the thought processes that we have in relation to our experiences. So your experiences are completely different than Jim's experiences, which are completely different than my experiences. And so we each can experience the same thing, but the way that we process that information and the way that it sits in our brains is going to be different. I'm going to form a very different belief and understanding of what's happening than other people relative to the experiences they've had in their life. So we all have beliefs. And in marketing and sales, we like to define certain beliefs as being false beliefs. These are the beliefs that aren't serving us well. We want to achieve something. Our customers want to achieve something. They want to move an obstacle out of the way. They want to get to some sort of tangible result. And usually what's stopping them from taking that action step and achieving is a belief that they have that isn't serving them well. So false beliefs, I want you to think about those as the beliefs your customers have that are not currently serving them in their pursuit of that goal that they want to achieve. And so we all have these things. And what's easiest for us to do in terms of response when we get into that sales call is we start putting up objections. No. I don't want to do something hard. So here's all of the excuses that I'm going to come up with. And here in the visibility hacking world, we talk about having options, not excuses. So we're going to move these objections, these excuses our people are coming up with. Stop, I don't want to do this. No, but, yeah, but what about this? Oh, but that doesn't apply to me. All of those, we're going to move them out of the way, those objections, and we're going to offer options for our people. And so we're going to give you a way to do this with creating content rather than waiting all the way until they hopefully maybe get to the sales call. Let's overcome all of those objections, all of those false beliefs. As Jim was saying, we only change those false beliefs, those beliefs that aren't serving us, when we have another realization. And those are those options that we talk about. So that's what we're going to present within our content. But that is a story for later on. Let's talk about your goal. So no matter what your business is, no matter what customers you serve or how you serve them, they all want to achieve some sort of goal. That's the top of their mountain. That's where they want to be, right? And of course, they have to start somewhere. It's usually down here. And it's that process of getting from where they are now to where they want to be. That's what you do. And the way that you do that, each of the steps that you take, is called your vehicle. This is the mode of transportation, the method that you're going to use to get your people from where they are to where they want to be. In the visibility hacking world, I want you to visualize an adult-sized tricycle, because why not? Or like a big wheel. That's our vehicle. We're on this together. And yeah, other people might get people from where they are now to the same kind of tangible result, but they're going to do it very differently. Maybe it'll be like a bus. Maybe it'll be like a car. Maybe it'll be super fast like a train, or it'll be completely off the wall like a pogo stick. But there are different vehicles to achieve that same result. I always use the example of my yoga instructor. So my yoga instructor is fantastic. She has a specific way of utilizing movement and mindset and nutrition and all of these different things together. That's the vehicle that she uses to get people results. I've worked with other trainers who use keto and intermittent fasting and hardcore athletic training and saunas and ice baths. Those are different vehicles that coaches will use to help people achieve similar results. So think about what your vehicle is. That's the big question I want you guys to think about right now, is what is the vehicle that you use in order to get your people to those results? Okay? Take a minute, brainstorm that in your head, think about that, because this is the one big thing I need you to understand as we go through the rest of today's lesson. We're going to talk about overcoming objections, but we first start by understanding what our vehicle is, because that's the first thing we're going to talk about. So before we move on, any questions, comments, concerns, or jokes of the knock-knock variety?
We got Jaylee in the house. We've got Stacia Rivera, who is absolutely amazing, and Mark Aaron Ramsey. Welcome, everybody. Awesome.
Yay! Love my people. You guys are fantastic. All right. So your vehicle, thinking about your vehicle, we sometimes will name our vehicle. So we like to call ours visibility hacking. That's our vehicle that we use. It's the method we use, which is different than what other people are doing. So we're going to talk about objections. So those false beliefs that you can have. Actually, let's do a little bit of homework right now before we jump into anything else. So if for those of you following along who want to take action tonight, because we're all about action takers, your brainstorm moment right now, pen, paper, the whole deal, pause this video if you want to, come back to it later on the replay. Your goal right now is to set a timer for however long you need. I say 20 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever you want. And I want you to just brainstorm all of the potential objections that you could ever think of. Things that people have told you on sales calls. We know we have all been on more sales calls where people said no than people said yes. I want you to brainstorm all of them. Another cool thing that you can add to this that Jim taught me is write down all the questions people ask. Those are the same kinds of false beliefs, places where they're stumbling, places where they don't necessarily have the information that they need. Write down all of these objections. Just brainstorm them all. And you know my rules for brainstorming, my friends. You cannot cross anything out. Any crazy idea that comes to your brain, like seriously, the last time I did this one, I literally wrote down the objection of, I live on Mars and it would take too much bandwidth and time for a live show. So that's not an option for me. That is a perfectly good thing to write down on your brainstorm. You can cross out the crazy ideas later. But right now, put on your Elon Musk hat, come up with those big, crazy ideas. I want you to think about absolutely every objection.
Stream of consciousness. I love those.
Stream of consciousness. If you want to be real on the mark with this, do not take your pen off the paper. Just keep moving. That's an exercise my favorite English teacher gave us, and it's brutal at first, but then you just start flowing so much cool ideas. So that is your task for right now, because now you can come back to the video now that you have your fantastic brainstorming done, because what you're going to do is listen to our next little lesson that we're going to do. We're going to talk specifically about vehicles, internal and external objections, and then we're going to come back to the list that you just brainstormed. So let's start out by talking about vehicle. We just talked about how that is the process or the method that's going to get our customers from where they are right now in their achievement of their goal that they want to achieve, and how are we going to get them to that goal. The vehicle is the method that we use to get them there. So Jim, let's brainstorm some kinds of objections and false beliefs that relate to the vehicle, and how we can create some pieces of content that identify and address those ahead of time.
Sure. Internet businesses don't work. Internet businesses are scams.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So how would we address that in a piece of content?
So I personally would like to show maybe some testimonials, some case studies, making sure that people know that they're not first. You don't want to ever make your customer feel like they're first, right? You want to let them know this is safe. This is a safe place to be. I'm a trustworthy person. And if you don't believe me, here's a bunch of people that have worked with me, and they're going to tell you the exact same thing. And that builds trust, which then removes that objection of internet businesses are scams or don't work or don't make money. Or it's, like viewed like an MLM or something maybe. But you have your preconceived notion, right? So as long as we can make sure that people don't feel like they're first, that they're the one blazing the trail and they're the ones in danger, risking it all, I think that you're in a good place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So making sure that we're identifying what kinds of objections are circling around the vehicle, the method, the way that we achieve those results. This is very different than when we get to internal and external objections. Vehicle is very specifically about your product, your service, your offer, the package you provide for people. So you can talk about how certain bonuses and other add-ons in your offer stack speak specifically to certain parts of certain other objections as well. So you can flesh out a little bit more of that and highlight your product, your service, your offer. That's what vehicle refers to. So now let's take a completely 180, I guess it would be, and talk about internal objections. These are some of my favorite because as someone who has a lot of self-doubt sometimes, the internal objections are kind of my best friend. So internal objections are when you don't believe that you, the customer, the potential customer, are able to achieve because of things that you lack. This is the self-doubt category. So internal objections like, it's too complicated. Let's tie in internal objections to what we just talked about with our vehicle. So internal objections, it's too complicated for me to understand. Well, I created a very simple 3-step framework that is so simple to follow. Anyone can do it even in their sleep. I've overcome that internal objection instantly. Now let me show you how easy it is with this 3-step process. You can create so many pieces of content around that as well. And internal objections are probably the ones that you're going to have more of on your paper. Probably, if you get real deeply connected to your prospects. On the other hand, you got anything to say about internal objections, I should say, before we get into the other hand?
Yeah, it's belief in oneself. So it's an internal objection may be, I'm not smart enough for this. Yeah. Or I'm not built for this. I'm not made for this. I don't think that I am this enough. I'm too much this. Yeah. I'm too much that. I'm not successful yet. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I'm not confident. I'm overly confident. I'm too loud. I'm too quiet, whatever it may be. It's all about you. Yeah. And so whatever that is, we have to then show them with our content that objection is not based in reality. So we have to shift that paradigm so that they know that they can.
Yep. And another great way to do it as well is with testimonials and case studies. I think back again to the example of, I've been on this fitness kick. So I've been watching all of these fitness YouTubers and whatnot. And a lot of this is internal objections that they're talking about when they hype each other up. It's talking about, hey, I felt like I was too overweight. I didn't have the gym bunny clothes. I didn't want to go to the gym. Those are all internal objections. Create content that helps identify and address all of those. There's this great content creator. Oh, I can't remember his name, but I will post one of my favorite videos of his. And he's a real big, jacked guy, but he is one of the sweetest people. And he wants to get other people to live fit and to experience that same joy that he has. And so he creates these little shorts addressing those objections like, hey, I don't know how to make a friend in the gym. So he's like, cool, here's 3 steps on how to make friends at the gym. Here is a way to identify when you're struggling with your mental health. Cool. Here's 3 steps. And all of them are very simple ways to overcome those internal objections to get people to take that first step. And we do this all without a sales call. It's all done with the content that you create. Right. And I love it. And that's when people really start to buy into your movement, is when they see themselves. A lot of those internal objections we don't like to share publicly. Those are internal thoughts, right? Those are those self-doubts that we don't want people to see, because that might break the facade of the strong character, or whatever. I'm not imposter syndrome or not. But those internal things we don't usually share. So when you, the creator of that content, are able to start that conversation to show that, yeah, you know what, you're in the same boat with a bunch of us. These are the thoughts that are going on in my head. These are the things that we're experiencing. These are the things that our clients have experienced. And check it out. Look how they've come out on the other side.
You, not alone, but there are others that have made it where you thought you couldn't.
Yeah. You are not to anything. You are not enough anything, because these people were just like you, and they want that. They have achieved that result that you are seeking to achieve. Exactly. Let me show you the process. Oh, I love it. So let's talk then about external objections. So vehicle objections relate to how you help people achieve their results, the method. Internal objections are those self-doubt statements. Now, external objections are the most obvious excuses. Those are things outside of our control. And we as human beings like to find that there are more things outside of our control than there are inside of our control, when in reality, most of those things we can actually control, or we don't need to worry about in the first place. So external objections are things outside of our control. Like, I have to talk to my spouse about this. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. Yeah. These are objections that can happen. Yep. Exactly. So a lot of these we can pre-frame with great pieces of content, again, by showing what parts of our offers, what part of our community help to overcome or help to provide some structure around those objections. So those would be things like, I don't have enough time. Oh, well, you don't need to worry about time, because this is an evergreen course and you can access it whenever is best for you. Check out this case study we did with Bob, and he was able to do this, complete his course, even while he was working 40 hours in a job he absolutely hated. But when he finished the course, man, he took off his business and he quit his full-time job and became a full-time entrepreneur. Bam, you can do it too.
Like
simple
Jay
pieces
Lee,
of content.
former pastor with a full-time job, a family, and a ninja puppy.
And a house in Toronto.
And a house in Toronto. And he pulled it off. So Jay Lee is a walking external objection overcomer.
Exactly.
Stacia says normalizing. Yes. That's a great way of looking at it. Normalizing. So right. You're so right, Stacia. Having
that community of people around you, both to deal with those internal objections, but also creating that community of support, which helps knock down a lot of those external objections as well. But we can also talk about external objections in a very interesting way. So Jim and I this year went to Funnel Hacking Live, and there was this cool presentation. It's specifically about overcoming objections with the one and only Mr. Myron Golden, alongside Russell Brunson. And it was so neat to see the way that Myron Golden took the objection of, I have to talk to my spouse about this, and dealt with that. Do you remember that, Jim?
Was that the one where he said, would your spouse want you to fail?
No, that's a good one. This is the one where he was at the driving range, and the guy was saying, like, you golf so much. And Myron's like, and this guy's like, your wife lets you golf so much? Myron's like, dude, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't think Myron Golden says dude, but dude, like, do you think I have to ask my wife for permission for everything? Like, we are equals. If my wife wants to go, I think it was like, if my wife wants to buy a house on her way home, I say, girl, go do it. Like, let's have a conversation about it later. Like, you do you, girl. And it, like, he phrases it and frames it in this way that makes the caller or the prospect on the phone rethink their own identity within their relationships. Like, no, is my wife the boss or am I the boss? And it was an interesting way of addressing that. And he did it in a way that you can create content like that. You can pre-frame those stories and identify who your customers are. And my customers aren't pushovers. My customers claim what they want and then they tell their husbands about it later. Like, that's who we are. So that's reflected in the content and the stories that you're telling with your short form content. Because remember, your short form content helps build that movement. It helps create those moments where your viewers self-identify and then they start following you. It's those instant triggers that our brain can take onto, those instant hooks that just keep bringing for more.
I love that. And the other one I was thinking of was actually Alex Hormozi. Alex Hormozi was the one that said, if someone brings up, I need to talk to my spouse, and he would say, does your spouse have a habit of enjoying watching you fail?
And to the point.
No, absolutely not. I have an incredibly supportive spouse. So they want to see you succeed. Do they know that you're actively trying to better yourself? Well, yeah. Okay. And they want to see you succeed, right? Yeah. Okay. So then she's going to be completely on board. Right? And then they go, well, I still need to, well, if you were to look back a year from now and nothing has changed and now you're miserable, you talk to your wife and it didn't work out, and you didn't get to do what you wanted to do you think that you'd resent her? So, like, he was digging. Dang. But there's a very aggressive approach. And then there's what Myron did, to where it's just kind of shedding light on something you didn't know was a thing before. Yep. What Myron does that I love is he gets you to come to that conclusion. Mm-hmm. And what Alex does is he shines a light, and it's very bright, and it shines a light on problems and insecurities, and then makes them step into their aspirational self. And their aspirational self is the one that wants to better themselves. I thought that was very interesting, but two very different approaches.
Very different. Yep. So, my friends, remember this, that you have to tell your story, whatever your story is, because only then will they convert. So, your action steps, my friends. Take that brainstorm that you did earlier where you came up with all of the potential objections and false beliefs. Add to it from what you've gained as we talked about internal and vehicle and external objections specifically. Add to that list. Keep it organic. Keep adding to it as you have more sales calls and you go through different groups and you check out different videos and comments and you engage with your community more. And go through that list. Once you feel ready, go through that list with 3 different highlighters. I love going through my list with highlighters. 3 different highlighters. 1 is going to be for vehicle. 1 is going to be for internal. 1 is going to be for external. And you're going to go through that list and divide them up into those 3 categories. Your crazy ideas about being on Mars, leave those Elon Musk ideas unhighlighted, because right now they're not really actionable, but they will be soon. So we're never shutting down on those possibilities, but highlight the ones that are relevant in terms of your methodology and the vehicle that's getting you to your results with your clients. Highlight the ones that are relevant to those self-doubt statements, those internal objections, and then also highlight the ones that are relevant to your external objections. Go through all of those. And then what I want you to do for your big action step for this week is to create one piece of short content that identifies a vehicle objection, one that identifies internal objection, and one that identifies an external objection. This way, at the end of the week, you'll have 3 kick-ass pieces of content you can put out there that speak directly to those false beliefs and those objections that your people are already thinking. So we're going to start to lay that foundation that overcomes those objections before they ever get to the call with you. And of course, make sure you can post them in the Visibility Hackers Facebook group. Tag us on socials. We're on Instagram and on the YouTubes as at Visibility Hacker. And of course, you can find us on Facebook, on Molly's profile, on Jim's profile. Yeah, we're all over the place. So that's your action step for today. And then I'm gonna do something, but I'm gonna try and watch Jim's face while I do this, because
I'm excited.
we've come up with something special for you guys as our amazing Visibility Hackers. And this has been in the works for quite a while. And I just forgot to tell Jim that it was almost ready. So gift for you guys as a surprise to Jim is there's a new year of content, custom content blueprint workbook. We've put it together and we've got new trainings for you guys. So if you want a hot off the press, like literally finished it today, if you guys want a copy, then definitely comment blueprint down in the comments, whether you are here live with us on the replay, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on some other bootlegged platform. Comment blueprint below. We'll get you in touch with a brand new hot off the press copy. And yeah, Jim, I'll send you one too so you can check it out.
Yeah. I'm on FaceTube now. Are you on FaceTube?
FaceTube. Oh, that's a new one. That's a new one.
You guys got to get on FaceTube.
I'm on uBook.
uBook.
Instabook. Instatalk.
Institute.
Talk. Yeah, anyways. Yeah.
That's all you do. Just mix and match.
That's my TED Talk.
That's my TED Talk.
Tick chat. Tick chat.
Tick chat. I love Tick chat. I think I might actually join Tick chat.
All right, my friends, be like Stacia. She's amazing. Comment blueprint below. We will get you guys that brand new copy. And there's some videos coming out on the Visibility Hackers YouTube channel coming up soon. For a couple weeks, we're going to be talking about different goal setting stuff. We got our yearly goals we're talking about soon. We're going to walk through the whole year of content process and like the new stuff on the back end. Oh, it's going to be exciting. It's a lot. It's a lot. And if you're interested, sign up for FaceTube. Maybe you could sign up for Snapbook, but I'm throwing my bucks behind Tick Chat to the moon. To the moon. To the
moon. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And please check out the custom content blueprint. I know this thing is insane. I know because I put my heart and soul into it, and then I know that Molly then took it and put her heart and soul into it. So guaranteed to be a must-have. Let's create it, make billions.
I love this.
You heard it here first.
Stacia's gonna join us on Tick Chat.
Okay,
that's the way to be.
Live on Tick Chat.
Live. I love it, guys. All right, we got some big things coming down the pipeline for you guys in 2023, and December is just a giant teaser for everything that's coming out. So this custom content blueprint is just the beginning, my friends, and I cannot wait to share it all with you. It's going to be so good. All right, any last words, Jim?
I'm just excited. I'm really excited.
It's going to be good.
It's something we've been working on for a minute. So that is fantastic. You guys are fantastic. I know you can spend your time anywhere. We love, and are so appreciative and grateful that you spend it here with us. And we hope that you got some value out of today. And I will see you on the next one. Molly.
Thank you guys again. We love you from the bottom of our heart. Be excellent to each other. Just go live because your people are seriously out there and they are waiting for you. Get your custom content blueprint. Comment blueprint below. We'll see you in our next episode. And come hang out with us in the Facebook group. All the links, they're around, or just comment below. We'll get in touch with you. Bye, guys. Bye. Bye. Oh wait, we have a video that leaves. Oh, hold on. I'm new here. Sorry.